according to Drudge Report, really has the goods. If we go back and take a look at the headlines, first of all, if we go in up to CNBC, we'll come back to this in a second, right here. But I want to direct your attention to the front page of the Drudge Report right here, where it reads, Musk MAGA crash landing. Stock spirals, referring to Tesla. Trump in Epstein files. Drudge Report. Trump says Musk went, quote, crazy, unquote, suggests killing his government contracts. Turns after Elon mouths off. I was surprised. I'm very disappointed. Elon, whatever. Brutus threatens presidency. Tesla shares sink 17%. 14%. Sorry, it said 17% earlier. Then, get this, folks. Doge Army left office littered with drugs and cockroaches. Update. SpaceX town warns Texas residents may lose property rights. Holy cow. All right, so let's dig in here. Let's start right here with this. The top headline. Musk MAGA crash landing. Metro. Donald Trump roasts Elon Musk and suggests he has Trump derangement syndrome. And let's take a look at what is being presented to us here with a simple boop like that. What's going on?
Take advantage of our
we have a commercial.
Inventory reduction
Can
sale.
we skip the commercial?
With prices starting at just $1,999.
Skip ad.
Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it, you'll let us know. Yeah.
Yes, so that's what's being reported there. And so let's go back to the Drudge Report. Stock spirals right here. Tesla shares sank 16% as Musk Trump spat escalates. Shares of Tesla fell 16% on Thursday as President Donald Trump threatened to pull government contracts from CEO Elon Musk's companies. The drop comes as shares of the EV maker saw a 22% rally in May, with Musk wrapping up his time as head of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate, Musk posted on X. Those are the key points. And it's reported here that Elon was wearing thin, Trump said. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody wanted. He knew for months I was going to do it. He just went crazy, Trump wrote on Truth Social. And so if this is done correctly, if we click on this, we can see what was written by President Trump. And he says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And wow, let's go and see what else is here. And then he writes here, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for once I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Then someone talks about Trump's third term becoming reality. And then that's about his phone call with Z. G. All right. So there's that from Truth Social. And then we have back to CNBC. And Musk, the world's richest man and richest in days, has threatened to make lawmakers who vote for the bill face primary decisions and called the bill a disgusting abomination, marking a significant shift in his comments about the administration. The fall in shares comes after the EV maker saw a 22% rally in May, as we mentioned before, despite weak sales numbers, with Musk wrapping up his time as head of Trump's so-called Department of Government Efficiency. Shares are down 17% this week as Musk has spoken out against the budget bill. This year's shares are down more than 25% and well off the high of $488.54 reached December 18th of last year. Since Musk's special government employee's term ended Friday, he appeared at odds with the Trump administration and gone on a full assault against the president's signature tax cut bill. Quote, one of the things about Elon, when he goes all in, he goes all in, unquote, Walter Isaacson, author of a Musk biography, told CNBC's Squawk Box on Thursday. Quote, he's somebody who is not exactly calibrated in these things, and he's seriously upset, Isaacson said. Musk also runs SpaceX, and XAI, posted a stream of attacks against the Trump bill on X Wednesday. Elon Musk. A new spending bill should be drafted that doesn't massively grow the deficit and increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. NBC News reported that Musk had tried to convince Trump and other GOP members of the administration to change aspects of Trump's bill that would curtail EV and residential solar tax credits, which generate profits for Tesla. The measure also imposed a new $250 fee on EV drivers. This is Tesla. You can see the shares dip right here. And now it says Tesla has more fundamental problems with plummeting sales of its electric vehicles in major markets in Europe and a declining brand reputation in the West. Tesla is also under pressure to launch a long-delayed driverless ride-hauling service this month in Austin, Texas. And Musk has said that Tesla is testing driverless vehicles in the market, but its primary competitor, Waymo, is already operating a major commercial robo-taxi service there in partnership with Uber. Isaacson said Thursday that Musk was also annoyed with members of the Trump administration who worked against the nomination of Jared Isaacson as head of space agency NASA. That, to Musk, was just infuriating because they were just going after Jared Isaacman to get at Musk, Isaacson said Thursday. Isaacman's nomination was pulled over the weekend. Isaacman led 2 private space flights through Musk's SpaceX in 2021 and 2024, commanding crew trips around the Earth. His payment tech company, Shift4, said in financial filings as of June 30th, 2021, it had invested $27.5 million in SpaceX as well. Now, let's see here, and that's the end of that article there. Okay, so we go back to this, and then this is the other one. Trump in Epstein files. Whoa. Trump in Epstein files. So which on X, Elon famously released a tweet, time to drop the really big bomb. That's what he writes here. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Whoo! And it says, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Let's see what some of the reactions were from this. In David J. Harris said, you just lost all credibility, Elon. And wonder why that is. He says, this has to be intentional. No way these two are that stupid. Not a chance. This is why I was wondering if this is some sort of distraction regarding something else. He says, David, with all due respect, we all knew Trump was in there. What do you think he was doing hanging out with Epstein for all those years? That's Caroline. And then Donna says, 100% Elon has revealed himself now to be a narcissist abuser. You don't give to somebody, and then when you don't get what you want, start shaming them and trying to destroy them. That's the devil. And she's not wrong. Uh, Josie says, what's going on? Is it really that bad? He was just in the Oval Office last week slinging his praises. Something doesn't seem right. David Sims says, no, he hasn't. There really hasn't been an investigation yet, much less a trial, less still a verdict. Trump might be in the Epstein files, but maybe not in the worst way. Bree Gookin says, uncovering the extreme right and the left act the same. Nah, I've been trying to warn Elon about this for a while, but I'm a nobody. No one listens to people who already went through this crap. Not Woke says, he didn't have any smell the coffee. He's telling the truth. I believe him. No, he didn't even get down to this. Okay, so we see that from X. Now, my thoughts on all this, I'll share them. Okay, I will tell you. I think, first of all, I want to have you understand something technically. And those of you who took macroeconomics in high school and college know that GDP, gross domestic product, equals C plus I plus G plus NE. C is consumption. I is business investment. Some call it a BI. Then G, of course, is government, and NE is exports. What happens if you increase any one of them? The economy increases. That includes government spending. What happens if you decrease government spending? You decrease GDP. Why? Because government spending is jobs. It's jobs. So cutting jobs is not helping the economy. It doesn't matter if somebody thinks, well, that job was worthless. It was a job. And so if you're going to pay somebody money to do a job, that's money they take to their neighborhood that then goes into their grocery store, local bar, toy store for their kids, allowance for their kids. And if you have a 2-earner family, that's double. You take that away when you fire somebody. You hurt the local economy. Consider this, that in the 80s, before the advent of manufacturing overseas, 88% of our defense dollar went into local communities in the United States. Do you know what it is now? And it's not that anymore. It's almost flipped. That's right. Nearly 70% of our defense dollar goes overseas to make weapons and machinery and vehicles. That's got to change. You can't change it with a tariff. You change it with subsidies, with deals directly to businesses, the same way that our competitor countries economically did. Japan. That's how Japan, through the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, which I had the pleasure of visiting in 1987, did it. Through the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's how Korea did it with respect to Japan and much of the Asian region of the United States and the United States itself, region of the world, and the United States itself. So my point is that Trump has been on this idea that he believes is conservative of cutting spending. It doesn't make any sense. Right now, we have business disinvestment because of inflation. You have government spending to counter the disinvestment and price controls to bring the inflation under control. Those are the things you do. You don't harbor under the idea the economy is free, because every economy is directed by governments around the world. There's no such thing as a free market. The price system is simply free because you can set your own price. But that's about the extent of it. People have this illusion that because you can set your own price and design your own business and everything else, that it's a free market. But government controls the direction of the business, indeed the very existence of the business, period. And we have to come to that realization and start the proper economic planning to move forward. I think Elon Musk is partially I like Elon. Uh, I don't agree with everything he does. Not supposed to, but I do like him from the times we were in the same room during TechCrunch, Disrupt, and the Crunchies, when he was a PayPal founder and investor. Um, and so I have a different view of him than the average American. Uh, but I don't agree with the Doge thing because it's not the way government operates. And it's very sad that they were allowed to go in and really wreck a federal organization under the idea that less spending is better, and it's not. It's not. That's deficit spending is how we got ourselves out of a big major problem, um, and we headed into World War II doing it, and then we came out of World War II and we did even better, and we continued it through the '60s. We have to go back to it. Uh, that's my view. As far as President Trump and what he's doing, we have to stop the chaos. People need certainty in how their government operates in their daily lives, in their investing and spending. It's wrong what is being done. It's got to stop. It's not good for the country. So there's my thought, all right? Share yours, please. Looking forward to it. And please, if you haven't done so before, well, yeah, in fact, what do you think? It'd be fun to even read your reviews online right now, which I can do if you type something. It comes up in the area there. If you want to add a super chat, you can do that too. You can agree or disagree. Fine. Or maybe just, I know some people make fun of my hair because I don't have any. But my point is that we're at a critical juncture where it's bad for a president to be seen with this much chaos. It sends the wrong message to the markets. It sends the wrong message to Americans looking for hope that their situation is going to get better. Because some people believe that, hey, look, if this is happening, and that means that that Elon Musk is going to say something bad and Trump is going to overreact. And if Trump cuts Elon Musk's government contracts, that hurts many thousands of employees and investors. So for Trump to say that, it was really wrong. It shows zero concern for the American economy and more concern over how he can get back at Elon Musk. It just isn't a good look at all. It's not how presidents are supposed to be. He has to stop taking things personally, Trump does. Stop thinking he's king when he's not. We're in a democracy, and the system that we've designed proves that every single day. Stop believing that he has to hear himself mentioned millions of times a day in order to feel better about himself. Right now, he's not there. He's literally taking it out on the American people when he does that. And he's our president, by the way. And it's also why some people believe that he's under the spell of Putin for more than one reason, and for reasons that go back to the 2014 Miss Universe pageant. I want to be wrong about all of this, but unfortunately, folks, I'm not. That's what makes me feel so bad. I don't enjoy saying this at all. In fact, I remember when Donald Trump ran for president the first time. He was coming down the escalator at Trump Tower, which I had the pleasure of visiting. Um, and this was, in fact, I visited Trump Tower. This was 2005, my first NFL draft. I was covering, and I was staying at the Roosevelt Hotel, so I wasn't far away. At any rate, back to when he announced he was running for president, I expected Trump, as a fan of The Apprentice who tried to get on The Apprentice. Yes, I did. Didn't. But I expected him to come down and launch that he was running for president because America needs a champion of small business, because that's how he presented himself on The Apprentice. I didn't expect all this racist stuff. I didn't expect this stuff about Mexicans and da 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 da. It was very disappointing. If he had went the way I'm telling you, I'd have backed him for president. All right? But he didn't do that. He lost a lot of people that way, because that's not America. Okay? It just isn't. All right, folks. Again, please, thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube if you haven't done so before, and bookmark ZennyReport.com. Thanks, and God bless you. See you later. Oh, by the way, if you have something to share, you want to vlog, my email, ZENNIE at ZENNIE62media, that's MEDIA.net. All right, we'll see you. Thank you.